Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be featuring the new Chanel quad that I picked up. If you're wondering, oh Isabel, didn't you just get over the flu? I did. Fun little fact. When your kid starts school, you'll get over one thing just to get something else that she brings home. And then you're just surviving at that point because you're just trying to get over that. So she gave us whatever other bacteria she picked up. And as we are nursing her to recovery, then we get it. And then here we are again. Chain smoker voice, lots of coughing. So if you see a lot of cuts in this video, it's because I have to cough. And I try to leave that out. So because this seems to be the theme of my life right now, we're gonna get through it together. Okay. So I ordered mine online because for some reason, my SA, her particular boutique did not receive these quads. And I tried to wait as long as I could for them to receive it. And then she was trying to source it from another boutique, which I truly appreciate, but it was taking quite long. And I was kind of worried that this was gonna sell out because it is a, supposedly it's like limited quantities. And I don't even think this is gonna be part of the original collection. I believe that this is gonna be a limited edition quad, which makes absolutely no sense to me because I think that this is one of those quads that should have been made part of the permanent line. There really isn't anything in the permanent line that gives these very subtle, cool tone, grungy tones. And so I feel like this would have been perfect as an addition to the regular line. So just so you guys, I like to show this all the time for those of you who are new, but each of your Chanel quads come with this little suede dust bag, and then on the inside you get a card that gives you suggestions on how to use your quad. I kind of never use them. I just do whatever comes to mind, but each quad has this plastic protector on top like so, and then on the inside you get your two little applicators, and here are those gorgeous colors. Isn't that stunning? Isn't this, I'm gonna take out, by the way, don't throw away these puff applicators. I've said this before, but I have to continue saying it in every video because I get a lot of newcomers. But these applicators are actually really good. I enjoy using them to apply the darker, deeper shade as an eyeliner, or just using the applicator to apply topper shades and stuff like that. So they are very good quality. But here is the quad. And this was very kind of similar to the limited edition I think it was 5 or 6 pan holiday palette that was released. But I actually feel that this one is much nicer. This shade right here is so unique. I thought it was gonna be just a flat silver, but it actually gives off like minty green vibes. And so I needed to have this quad. I think, again, this should have been part of the permanent line. It's a solid. I think it's this whole color story is a solid. Next in the bag, when you order online, you get to pick 2 samples. So the samples I picked was the No. 1 de Chanel serum and the Le Lift Pro mask. So excited to add these to my samples and travel. Again, I'm gonna reiterate this one time in my videos. Sometimes you will see that my nails, I haven't cleaned the edges of them. That's because I'm pressed for time. So I gotta do my nails and film before my kid raises havoc. So So just ignore it, okay? It comes, you can choose the dust bag, which I a lot of the times choose because I use these dust bags for shoes, for brushes, lots of things that I want to keep protected, perfume bottles. It's just something I can use over and over again. So I do usually get the dust bag. You can opt to get a box and you can recycle the box if you no longer need it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this makeup look. I'm gonna start off with the Chanel Vida Lumiere Aqua Foundation. I'm in the shade 30 Beige. And I'm gonna apply this with a beauty blender. Give it a good shake. This is a good foundation for those of you who like light, medium coverage. And this is buildable. I'm only applying this amount of product. And this is a foundation I have been using. This is one of the bottles as part of my project pan. And I'm about halfway through the bottle. Excellent coverage for those of you who still want your skin imperfections to peek through, but you want just, you know, the right amount of coverage for hyperpigmentation. For me, it would be my very prominent green veins. I have very dark green veins, and so especially around my eyes, and this is a very good job at giving me just the right amount of coverage. Next up, I'm going in with my Chanel Corrector, and this is in the color Rose. I use this to apply some brightness in the inner corner of my eye. I'm actually running out of this, but I have a feeling that I have enough here, and I don't think this is gonna be in an empties video until March. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think. I'm using a beauty blender to blend this in. This corrector, I really just concentrated on the inner corner because that's where I want the brightness to really peek through. Next, I'm going in with the Chanel setting powder. This is in the color 20 Clear, but mine is actually the original formula. It's not the new one. I did not purchase the new one, obviously, because I still have a lot of this one. I will plan to repurchase the new one once I run out of this one, but I feel that this product is kind of like the bronzer. I think it's the best bang for your buck because the powder is so finely milled. You need just the slightest amount to get the job done. It lasts forever, and it really plays well with all foundations. I have used this setting powder with dewy foundations, with foundations from all brands. Tower 28, Westman Atelier, Merit, Bare Minerals, Clinique, Glossier. All the foundations that I have tried, I have used this setting powder with it, and it just works wonderful. So if you're looking for a solid staple in your collection that's gonna last you a very long time, I highly recommend the Chanel setting powder. Moving right along, we're gonna apply some bronzer. I'm gonna be using my Clarins Bronzing Compact. This is the Sun-Kissed color. And this was a limited edition shade that I had picked up a year ago. And you got like 3 shades. I'm gonna use my Refer 4 brush to apply this. Such a good bronzer. The actual compact in here, I have been using this for like 2 months, and this thing is still going solid. It is fragranced, so For those of you who are not into that, you may not like this bronzer, but it had a beautiful embossment, and you could still see the embossment in it when the light hits it. I really like the bronzer. I tend to gravitate mostly towards powder bronzers, but if you're wondering about the clearance bronzers, although this is limited edition, if they ever come out with another one, don't hesitate. Highly recommend. Next up, I'm gonna apply some blush. I'm gonna be using my Guerlain Meteorites in Golden Land. I've been using these as a blush. This was a limited edition color, so I just want you guys to inspire you. If you pick these up, take them out, start using them. Great quality. So the Meteorites are technically supposed to be like finishing powders, but sometimes when they come out with limited edition colors, the colors tend to not always be finishing colors for some of us. I feel like this would have been a nice finishing powder maybe for somebody with a deeper skin tone, but for me it's blush. So that's what I've been using it as, and it works great. For those of you who don't know, the Meteorites are like these pearls, and you see how there's like lots of pink, bronzy, and burgundy raspberry pearls in there, and that's why it quickly makes it a blush for me. So I'm using a Bare Minerals soft focus brush, and I kind of just lightly dust this on the cheeks, a little bit on my nose. These are also scented, and it has that typical Guerlain scent that we all love, which I heard that they have this particular smell and a fragrance, but for the life of me, I heard the name of it one time, never been able to remember the name. So any of you who know, leave me a comment down below, because I would love to have this in a scent. For highlight, I'm gonna be using a Chanel highlight in 20 Warm. This is part of their permanent line. I picked mine up at Nordstrom. I've made a severe dent in this, and I'm just using a Real Techniques setting brush, swirling my brush in there. If you want a very subtle highlight that you can use not only as highlight, but as a brow bone highlight, even as an eyeshadow, I highly recommend this one. So I ever so slightly go from the temple to my cheekbones, and just look at that. It's just very subtle, it's beautiful. And I have used this as eyeshadow, just stunning. Next, I'm gonna go back with my Real Techniques powder brush that I used for my Chanel setting powder, and I'm just gonna blend all of this together really quick. Next up, I applied the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. This is in the anti-aging formula. I prefer the original because this one takes just a little bit too long to dry on my lids, but those of you who have very dry lids would actually like this formula a bit better because it is a little bit more emollient. Now let's go ahead and put on this eyeshadow quad. The first color I am going to put on off with is going to be this very taupey kind of shimmery shade right here. I'm going to use that color as a base, and then we'll move on to the transition shade. I'm going to be using my dual-ended eyeshadow brush. This one is in N200. So for reference, Chanel has one of the best retractable travel brushes on the market. I have washed these. I have used these for years. And they are just very good. So there's three of them. You have N200, N201, and N207. I'm gonna use N200. And this one brings a shadow and dome brush on the other end. I'm gonna use the shadow portion of this, gonna go into that shade and apply it onto the lid. I am gonna zoom you guys in just a little closer so that you guys can see these colors. So this is one layer of that color, and it is like the most beautiful shimmery taupey shade, and it works as a beautiful base shade for the rest of these colors. I did not pick up the limited edition Christmas quad. I'm not a very big fan of gold, so I didn't pick it up. But for those of you who officially have both, you have this quad and you have the one from the Christmas edition. Do you feel like this one's better? Because the colors, I much more prefer the color story on this one. Next, we're gonna go into that beautiful soft brown shade. This is like a soft matte color, and I'm going in with the other side of this brush and just working that into the crease. I mean, how beautiful is that color? If there was ever a more perfect soft brown, it's this. I just want you to know I am fighting the urge to continue to look up. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but you're about to get some information you never asked for. I have a phobia of wasps. And right now, currently as I'm filming, Satan has sent a wasp my way to build a home on the glass window that I am currently filming in front of. And not just any wasp, the mother lode of wasps. Like she must be the queen of whatever, you know, clan she flies with, because, you know, wasps have hives, but a lot of them like live individually, at least in my house, because when we moved in here, there was a lot of individual homes that they built very close to each other, very capable of building a hive, everybody living together in a compound, because that's how close they were. They chose to have their own master suite next to each other, which, you know what, I get it, everybody wants their privacy, but she's definitely the queen of whatever neighborhood she's running, because baby girl's big. Yeah, she's big. All right, back to this video. Anyways, so it's very distracting because I know she can't hurt me because she's on the other side of the glass, but my brain's like, no, I don't trust that glass. Anyways, back to the video. I promise I won't talk about her anymore. I'm gonna go into the black shade, and this is gonna be the perfect time to use the little sponge applicators I was talking to you about. I'm kind of debating. I'm actually gonna put the topper shade before I go in with the liner shade. So let's go into this very sagey, minty green, metallic color right here, which was the whole reason I bought this palette. When I saw that color, I was like, dang. So I'm going in with my finger. Let's just look at that finger swatch, shall we? Stunning. And let's pat that all over the lid. I'm not gonna bring it into the corner. I'm just patting it in the lid in the center and on, you know, the sides. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful. Okay, now I wanna try using that exact shade with a brush, because I wanna see if you're able to use it with a brush. So I wanna use my N201 And my N201 has this very tiny flat shader brush right here for detailed work like this. And I'm gonna run this over that color and try to apply it that way. Let's see what happens. So works well with a brush, but automatically you can see you are gonna get a softer application, which a lot of people prefer because you have the ability to control. And you can see that I am building it up. So you can build this color up and you can use it with a brush. I always like to show you guys both, and then you guys can decide what you want to use it for, but stunning color. Let's go ahead and use the applicator in the black with the black shade, and let's go ahead and line the outer corner of the eye. So I love using these for this purpose because you don't get any kind of fallout. And they just do a very good job at giving you that beautiful, like smoked, smudged out look. I got a little transfer on the bottom, it's fine. I pressed a little bit too hard, but nothing that can be fixed. Let's do the other eye. Lovely. Just lovely. I knew I was gonna love this quad. I knew it, I felt it in my bones. Okay, next let's go ahead and put on some brow gel and some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, so I applied some Kosas brow gel and the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara to my top lashes. Let's talk lips. We've got two options here. So I have the Chanel Rouge Allure Lac in number 63 Ultimate. And I also have, let me swatch this for you so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I just don't know which one's gonna look best. But I also have the Merit lipstick in Slip. This is like a very nude shade, but it has a very cool undertone. So I thought this may look a little bit better. Here are the swatches. So this is the Rouge Lac in number 63 Ultimate, and then this is the Merit lipstick in the color Slip. We're gonna try them both on because I want to show you an option with like a cooler toned nude versus a nude that's a little bit more rosy, a little bit warmer in tone. So let's try on the Merit one first. Okay, here we have the Merit one. I love the whole theme. This is one of my favorite looks already of this year. Next, let's go in with the color 63 Ultimate. And here is number 63 Ultimate. I think it looks good with both colors. Really, the choice is yours. If you prefer the look with a cooler tone lipstick versus a warmer tone lipstick, I'm sure you have plenty of options in your lipstick collection. I think we all own one, at least one of each undertone. So I have to say, as far as formula is concerned, this is definitely the Chanel formula we all know and love. I do have to say, I find that this metallic shade that I applied on the lips was much more pigmented than what I'm used to from Chanel. And it was a really nice surprise because this is actually my favorite shade in the quad. If you want a heavier, if you want a more impactful application, you can use your finger. If you want a softer application, you can use a brush. But I really do love this quad, and I think we have started off the year just right. with this collection. I did not pick up the eyeliners that came with this particular collection because your girl has too many eyeliners right now. I've got way too many eyeliners right now, and the colors of those eyeliners were probably gonna only be colors I could use on the bottom waterline because they were just so light. And seeing as this quad already came with a black, I just didn't see myself using those liners too much. So I skipped out on the liners. You guys know that I am being more conscientious about the stuff that I purchase. I really want to use this year, much like last year, to use the stuff that I have and hit pan on a lot of makeup products. That's my dog you hear in the background who's scratching himself. Let's get into some swatches really quick. So I'm gonna start from lightest to darkest. That's how we're gonna do this. Here are the finger swatches for those of you who love to see it. And here we have that beautiful quad swatched. Colors are buttery, super soft. Just yet another beautiful Chanel quad that I can add to my collection and use over and over again, because this particular color story is not a color story I have too much of in my collection. So I'm really embracing the 90s grunge era. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you do not follow me on Instagram, I highly recommend you do so. And see you next time, guys. Bye.